Thank you for joining us on another episode of Beyond the Listing, where we explore the business of real estate outside of the listing environment. I'm your host, Jeremy Madore, and today we are doing a little bit of a different episode where we are bringing in our team, some of our members of our team, and just kind of doing a roundtable as to how the spring market is going and has gone. I'm joined by
Kristen Smith,
Danielle Downs,
and Keith Fontaine.
And Keith, what do you do here?
What do I do here?
Yeah, what do you do here?
Well, I don't know.
Just for our audience's benefit.
everything.
I take photos and take videos and help train people that we hire and try to train some other people to train some people that we hire.
Everyone here is going to be too modest. All right, so all-star, all-around all-star.
Scheduling, billing, delivery, putting out fires.
All of the above.
Comedic genius.
I mean,
Yes.
that's debatable.
Yes. No.
No, I don't know.
I think she does way better than our dad jokes.
I mean, yeah, but
I mean,
We're gonna have to have a joke off.
Ooh.
No, I
my
can't.
wife will win.
Yeah,
that
no,
one.
for sure.
There's a whole podcast, just make me laugh or whatever. What like the person who cracks first kind of thing.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. There's a really good. Anyway. I digress.
And I do marketing and networking, amongst other things.
Amongst plenty of other things. So
Yes.
we're all multi-hat wearers. But anyway,
And
so here
plant
we are.
watering.
And plant watering
yes.
and vacuuming.
Yes.
Is Francine still with us?
Francine has passed.
Francine has passed.
Charlie has passed. We've lost a few members along the way.
Okay.
Wait, who was Francine?
I'm
The
not.
big leafy one. It said.
I'm not sure. I actually.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Oh, no, we
Francine-
have that one.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Anyway.
Francine was whatever plant was nearest to me when I wrote
Francine
that.
2.0.
That's
so,
funny.
So
All right.
I don't recall.
Francine is alive
I don't
and kicking.
recall who
Charlie,
Francine is.
no, Charlie definitely passed.
Charlie is gone.
All right.
Charlie got a little overwatered.
Lessons were learned.
I wasn't here.
Dylan, can you put taps over this section where we eulogize the plant?
In memoriam,
Do we have a picture of Charlie?
we
Can
definitely have a picture
Yeah,
of
we have
Charlie
Charlie.
somewhere.
All
We
right.
still have many that are still with us.
That
Well,
this is definitely the worst intro we've ever done.
no, this is the best intro. I love how random this intro is. So without further ado, let's get to our segment.
Bye.
So we're going to kind of cover a couple different bases today, and we'll get to the cards in a little bit. But I wanted to just kind of have a roundtable instead of having a guest on.
Yep.
I think that we should kind of decompress a little bit and kind of air our grievances, as it were. So
Yeah, Keith, we could read through those notes that are in the drawer, that we were typing.
We do have some funny ones.
Yeah, there's some funny ones. We used to, like, if we were having a crazy day, we would type it on the typewriter.
Yeah. We
Like,
did that
what happened?
The day that we photographed the entirety of all 300,000 square feet of this
Yeah.
building.
yeah.
Good stuff.
So dumpster fires. Last year. Wow. Last week seems like a year ago.
It does.
Last week was a roller coaster ride, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and I'm going to continue saying it. I'm continually impressed with our team's ability to respond to the dumpster fires. I mean, because the truth of the matter is, the majority of the dumpster fires that happen, the last minute panics, are very rarely expected.
Yep.
And they're also very rarely able to be planned around in advance, because they truly are out of our control situations that occur. Vehicle accidents, people calling out, people get sick. It's going to happen, right?
Yep.
And or gear malfunctions galore.
Yes.
Yep.
We have 9 kits in rotation, 18 cameras, something like
More
that.
than 9 kits, because we have the backups on top of that.
Yeah.
So we have probably, like, at this point, 11 or 12 kits.
A lot of dice we're rolling every day.
It is. And shutter failures are like a thing, for the amount that we do. It's not uncommon for our cameras to exceed 200,000 before a shutter failure.
Yep.
So, and of course, for the viewers, we do preemptively change out our gear. But sometimes it's operating so smoothly that we're advised by the repair company that no change is necessary.
Right.
Yeah.
But then, oops, it happened anyway. So there's all of that. Expect the unexpected, I guess, is the name of the game. And you guys do a phenomenal job at riding the unexpected waves.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
So thank you for being able to do that. And, I share in the mental stress load, but obviously not the physical stress load, just simply because of boots on the ground versus back end. So I admire you guys for doing that. And Billy, who will not appear here, is definitely
Per his choice, not ours. We're not excluding him.
To be clear, he's not banished or anything like that.
We've asked several times, and he's not interested.
Yes. Is obviously a very integral part of that.
Oh, for sure.
I can't tell you how many times he's hopped on the road and gone to swap out a tripod leg.
Yep.
And whole gear kits or whatever. So
yeah, I think he drove to the office at 10 o'clock one night last week to
he did
do something with Dropbox. I have no idea what was happening, but
sort went down. Yeah.
Yep. It was right around 8:30 when he notified me of it. He called me at 8:45. I didn't pick up because I was just like, no, I'm checking out. I didn't even know what he was calling.
Right.
I thought it was a spam call. I just ignored it. And then he called again, and like 15 minutes later, I'm like, all right, I'm going to pick it up now. And my wife and I were in the middle of a movie, and we were just kind of just chilled. And he's like, oh, there's trouble. Yeah. And so I hopped on my machine. We collectively were able to figure out what went wrong, where we left off with all the file uploads and stuff. And we were able to transfer it from his system to my system from home and stuff. But yeah, that was, icing on the cake for the week. Yeah. Last week was...
I don't even remember what happened.
Was
honestly.
Last week.
This was I don't even remember.
It's just a bunch of things.
Yeah, just a bunch of things. Like, it was a lot of things.
And each and every one of those things unto themselves, they weren't like, oh my goodness, the sky is falling, right?
Yep.
But it became, obviously it wasn't insurmountable because we took care of it anyway.
Of course.
But it became one of those like dumpster fires of a week where things just kind of, it was almost like it was a full moon, Friday the 13th.
Yeah, it was very weird.
Last week was the 13th. It was mixed in there for what it's worth, but it wasn't Friday the 13th.
No.
Yeah.
So,
but even one agent, that we had to move, they were so kind about it. And he was like, it's not late for death. Things happen. Yeah. And it's true. Like, I understand there's timelines and things need to be done, but in the end, we're human. Yep. We can only do so much.
To borrow from our first guest that we had on this podcast, Ashley Coffey, it's just real estate.
We're not doing heart surgeries.
Nobody's dying, and granted her husband works as a firefighter, so that's a very different
Those are
perspective,
emergencies.
Right? But it's true.
Those
right?
are literal dumpster fires.
Literal dumpster fires.
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct.
Ooh, yeah, that came full circle, huh?
Yeah.
All right. But yeah,
That's
so
what I'm here for.
So enough of the airing of the grievances at that point. But I don't know. So we're well through the official spring market. This week we've seen a slowdown versus what we've been seeing.
Yeah.
For the record, we are on June 19th today. So we're at the second to last week of June, which is not typically a slowdown week. Usually the week before 4th of July is the slowdown week that we hit. But next week's actually already looking fairly comparable to this week.
Yeah,
as far as
I think right now, like for this week, we're at like 102 appointants. So far. So next week's that's our slowdown.
Trending. Next week's trending to be similar.
Okay.
Last week was like 120 appointments or something like that. So, but yeah, just to kind of share some numbers if you guys are interested, because we like to share that kind of data, and I hope that if any other photographers are watching this, that you do the same back. Definitely looking for more of a hive mind. I think that there's too many closed doors in real estate photography. This is kind of a find your own path kind of business, and it kind of sucks because of that. There's no like guidebook on how to do it. There's the structure of how to run the business, because that doesn't really vary based on the business that you're in. But photography businesses are very different based on what your genre of photography is. But hey, it's better than doing weddings. Sorry, guys. But yeah, so we've recently taken on new employees. And
which is why I'm sitting at the table.
Which is why you're sitting here.
Over there.
This is Keith, guys.
Shout out to Dylan over there.
Yeah, shout out to Dylan Knight. Dylan Knight came to us a few times in the past year and a half. And was referred to us by his a realtor that we all know, and we missed the window on actually hiring him for like spring market on the road, but he came to us at a time where we had the demand for the back end, specifically for Keith's time, that was conflicting with what we were trying to accomplish for Next Level. And so he came on board, and we're really happy to have him because in very short order, he's taken a good portion of work off of your plate. Yeah. Not that your plate has gotten any emptier. It's just been replenished with other things.
There's always something to backfill. That's the thing.
Always.
It's nice to not have to push stuff off indefinitely, though. Yep. That's usually what happens. Spring comes up, and we're like, well, we're going to drop all these special projects. Because
in August, we might get to them.
Yeah, and then, in August, half those things aren't relevant anymore. And
right.
That'll be good.
Yep. And we just finished having a meeting about potential additional employee who we're not ready to name yet, but hopefully we're able to continue growing kind of a hybrid back end, front end position so that we can get more time available for you, free you up to do more of the special projects that I know that you have in mind and stuff that you haven't even talked about to anybody, including myself, that you have up here somewhere that is just going to come forth. Because the best thing that the best quality that I can see in you, Keith, is the fact that when given time to do nothing, you choose to not do nothing, but to do something creative, productive, fun, challenging. And you have a mindset of continuous growth. And that's exactly why you are such a crucial part of what Madore Photography has become and what Next Level will become. So as the leader, my job is to make sure that you have as much free time available, not necessarily that you take the free time, right? But my job is to keep you ever expanding your own mindset. And it's proven to be a challenge, to be honest with you, because no sooner do I try to make that available and then something new pops up where we're like, ooh, this is great. And then we just add it to our portfolio. And then, of course, it just continues to expand.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing a lot more commercial work lately, which is helpful.
Yep.
We'll have to pull the numbers, but I suspect last week was our busiest commercial work week ever.
It was. So we had the cannabis shop.
Yep, that was 2 days.
Yep.
We had we did that Rise Above video.
Yep.
We did
the headshots for GL FHCC.
Yep, we did that.
Dylan
and then
Kelly Kurtz.
Dylan did Julie an opening.
Oh yeah, we had the event
Yeah.
for Julie, and then we also had the dog bed and breakfast we did.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, it was a busy.
And
We had a
Kelly
ton of
Kurtz.
And Kelly Kurtz.
And
we
we
wow.
we did
Yeah.
the seminar for Kelly Kurtz as well.
Yeah.
There's
And so those technically all fell underneath Next Level as far as what their production.
that was all non-real estate commercial
Non-real estate.
Correct.
work. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
And so
Great.
I would agree with you.
I think it was. I mean, dollar amount, I'm not sure. As far as volume, absolutely.
I would say as far as volume combined with diversity of client.
Yeah.
Right. So we've had busier weeks from Matterport scans for
doing the engineering site scans.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's very different, right? That's more information gathering than it is creative publishing, right?
Yeah, different commercial work, but in more the way someone might traditionally define commercial, being
for sure.
cut and dry, engineering focused,
Yep.
informational, as opposed to
data gathering.
Yeah,
that's it
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But no, I would definitely say that it was our busiest week, both from a numbers as well as both from a dollar as well as volume.
Yeah.
For Next Level.
Yeah, it definitely seemed that way because especially editing and delivering all that stuff occupied most of the week as well.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yep.
it was definitely there was a ton of throughput there, which was
Yeah.
Which is of course challenging with with spring market
spring
and
market.
real
Yeah.
estate coinciding with that.
And
So-
Dylan still played a great role.
Oh,
in
for sure.
that
Yeah,
aspect,
I would probably still be editing some of those things as we speak right now.
Yeah.
If that wasn't the case. So yeah.
So really happy about that.
Yeah.
And I think that whatever we decide to grow as a business will automatically grow so long as we're paying attention to it.
Yeah.
And when you add people, but you don't yet have the work for them, the work comes because instead of saying, I'm not sure if I can fit you in, you just say yes. Right.
Yeah.
We've had video shoots that we've had to push off until after spring market because we didn't have the bandwidth. And we knew that. So that was kind of a known quantity that we went into. It's just that we didn't have the personnel available prior to spring market that were knocking on our door. And so now we do. And so that's,
it's exciting.
so very exciting, very exciting. So, and it's really great as an employer to be able to say yes to people who show up and say, hey, do you have any opportunities? But you know that the individual is capable of whatever opportunity you give them. that's great expansion possibility instead of just saying, I think we can work something out, or taking too much of a risk. At that point, it's not a risk, because if we have the volume on the inbound that we can just simply say yes to if we have more people, then there's just unconstrained growth.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Good stuff. So less of these.
I mean, that's always going to be.
And I feel like, especially this time of year, it's, I want to say for the last couple of years that I've been here, we've definitely had those weeks. It's not just, there's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no forecasting when it's going to happen. But then once it just snowballs, you're just like, well, you know what?
Yep.
This week is going to be.
For sure.
Buckle up.
But even amongst that, though, let's talk about the positives. Like, sure, we respond to it in a positive sense so that we accomplish the jobs. But like even between all of the challenges, like all the flames that start looking at things, there's jokes flying around the office. There's sarcasm in the positive sense.
Yeah, I ran into the woods,
Yeah, you ran into the woods, and I think we keep things generally pretty jovial and positive outlook.
I mean,
have to.
Yeah.
I remember last week when, I forget who called out. Someone called out, but I knew before you said anything, because we just kind of had this rapport in the office where you can kind of just see on someone's face, you're like, oh,
yeah,
what's
bomb's about to drop.
Yeah, so I can usually see Danielle. She'll be on the phone, and then I'll see her poke above her monitor like this. And so you did that, and I remember going, "Where am I going?" And then you're like,
Yeah.
And then
So
it was like
fun story.
3 minutes later, I was in the car driving to cover for someone who called out sick. So
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how we have a lot of nonverbal, between us in the office.
Yeah.
Like,
all someone needs to say is like, and then everyone else is like, what is it?
like,
How can we help? What's going on?
Yeah.
then
When
you have to
Danielle's on the
laugh.
phone, we're all like,
what's happening?
Keith's like, what do I have to edit?
Now you can just pull one of these while you're on the
Yep.
phone
Yeah.
and just do this.
It'd be like,
Wave it.
We're having
Wave it
it.
around.
It's the fire.
For those listening
Yeah.
on audio, I'm waving a piece of fire around.
Yeah.
But you have to laugh about it. I mean, in the end, like once the day is over or the week's over, however you need to process it, like you have to just joke about it, because otherwise you'll go crazy.
Right. And just, take care of yourself too. Take care of each other and take care of yourself.
I tried
like
to take
go
a
for
bath
a walk.
that one night, but then Mabel kept turning the lights off on me because the lights are on the outside of the bathroom.
I hate.
And it was like
We have that at our house.
Oh, and
I don't understand that.
It's
It's
never
weird.
happened.
I know why.
But like I think it was Wednesday. So the week had kept going, and it was the week, and we had a school event, which is just the last thing I wanted to do, but we did it. So I'm like, I'm going to go in, I'm going to take a bath, I'm going to relax. And like 10 minutes into it, she's like, wait. And I'm like, please. 10 minutes, I sat in complete darkness.
Please stop.
But you know what, though? Complete darkness in a bathtub?
Yeah, no, I mean,
not the worst thing on earth.
She was growling outside the door.
Well, okay, all right. So
it's an unrelated issue.
She was
growling.
Gee, I wonder where she gets the weird noises from.
yes,
No
I
idea.
wonder.
No
I wonder if anyone she's related to sits down at our podcast setup and goes,
Couldn't be
before
me.
starting.
Couldn't be me. I don't know.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah.
we definitely won't put a montage of clips of you doing that immediately here in the
Totally
edit.
not.
I was gonna
We
say,
definitely won't do that, right, Dylan?
No.
I bet after like a whole year's worth of.
We have a
I
collection.
promise you, I have a huge collection.
There's a library.
Yeah, there's a library.
Yeah.
I'll have to go through old drives, but
Danielle's
I'm
weird noises.
sure. So yeah, you're reaping what you sowed.
I mean, it is what it is.
You know what? You put it out there in the universe.
Yeah.
Also,
It's
Mabel's
gonna happen.
hilarious, so
She
she
is-
shouldn't
she is
change
funny.
anything about herself.
No, for
Absolutely.
sure.
She
For
is
sure. For sure.
Mabel's an absolute riot.
She
Yep.
is.
Yep.
She is.
I think the world needs more of that.
Agreed. Mm-hmm.
So, So let's.
Yeah,
Let's
what are
flip-
these?
These are the question cards that we have actually been using for Next Level Studio podcasts.
Oh, cool.
And I'm just going to randomly dole them.
All right.
And
How
if
much
you
is
don't,
in your bank account?
You're like, oh my.
No. So if you like the question or if you agree to answer the question, go ahead and read it out loud. Otherwise, grab another one. But we can start over on Keith's.
Me first?
Yeah.
I got, which 3 people have influenced you the most?
Ooh.
That's tricky. If you're left off the 3, I apologize. I'm going to narrow the context so it's less broad.
Yeah.
I'll say professionally, specifically. I'd say probably my dad is one of them. You know, like when I was a little kid, like I used to help him, I helped him re-roof my grandma's house once, like, and so like, you know, just getting stuff done. Something that needs to be done, get it done. So that's kind of where that comes from. Yep. I had a professor in college who I put on this. His name's Sean McClary. He's certainly not listening, but in case you are, shout outs to you, Sean. I went to college for music. Which is not what I'm doing, but a lot of those things are cross-disciplinary. Yeah. A lot of those things kind of, maybe not the specific skill, but kind of the approach might carry over. And I think there's a lot of lessons I learned there from him specifically, things he would harp on. A big one that he would always say was like, don't get married to your ideas instantaneously, and always remember that you like them more because you came up with them. And always remember that you can't be objective about your own ideas truly. And so to treat them with a little bit of skepticism because of that, because it's easy to get married to an idea and then refuse to alter it.
I think the first approach would be like, find the evidence that it's a bad idea.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Just be willing to alter the plan. Yeah. Just because you had this whole thing worked out in your head, if something happens that makes that not viable anymore and you stubbornly hold to your original thing,
you're going to sink.
Yeah. You're just trying to bike uphill at that point. And like, why, if there's a better solution available? Sure. So like, don't get married to something just because it came out of your own head. Like evaluate things as objectively as you can. Yep. This is hard. But yeah, I'll pick an artistic influence, I guess. When I first got into music, I was really into a subgenre called progressive rock, which is like a whole subgenre of people who like are absolute masters and virtuosos of their craft. And so I could name a whole slew of them, but a band that sticks out to me is Rush. They always like vary. 3 people, but they sound like 7 just because they're such absolute masters of their specific instruments. And so like that, I remember being very young and wanting to learn to play those things and being unable to. And then like 5 years later, finally having practiced the hundreds of hours to be able to play those kinds of things. And that was like, so that was a good like growth goal for me to learn how to like acquire skills, I guess. Because I think that's something that's really important for creatives, is not just to learn your skills, but learn how to acquire skills and how to do so like efficiently and quickly. Because I think many creatives who've tried to make a career will tell you that they've had to pivot probably a couple times in their lives as things ebb and flow in popularity or ebb and flow in public perception of value. And so you kind of have to roll with those things. And so if you master one super specific niche and you never learn how to learn skills outside of that, you might do well for a period of time and then become a dinosaur. And so I think that's I've done quite a bit of pivoting in my attempts at being a creative professional. And so
juggling, plate spinning, the whole bit.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
So, you know, that's like,
absolutely,
for the same reason that I intended to be a professional musician and now I'm not at all, and have been a lot more successful doing a total pivot. And
I intended on being a computer programmer. Yeah. And here I am running a podcast.
So I think that's an important aspect that a lot of creatives need, is the ability to learn new skills and be able to do that quickly and efficiently, and also be able to define the point where like, okay, that's enough for me to work, as opposed to like, that's enough for me to be some world-class household name, because they're different goals and you have to kind of define that different goal. So.
All right. There's your 3.
Very good.
3. Nice.
All right.
Me?
Rush, your dad, and what was the...
Sean McClary.
Dr.
Sean McClary.
Right, doctor. Oh, okay. Doctor of?
Music.
Okay.
Specifically, yeah. Yeah, he was a music... He
was a professor?
He was running the industry program at my college, so he was big on that.
All right.
Picked 3 cards.
You picked 3 cards?
Well, because I didn't like the other 2, and I'll explain why.
Like, I didn't like any of the 3 that I picked.
Yeah, like, what will you do that no one would expect? I don't know what I'm gonna do that no one I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that I do anything, honestly, but like, what? I mean, like in my day to day.
Would D&D count?
Yeah, maybe.
Ooh.
Like you don't stereotypically fit the type.
I don't. Yeah,
no.
Maybe. Yeah, nobody ever assumed.
I think Jeremy and I might.
Expect?
No, be
fit the type of people who like D&D.
For sure. But yeah, Danielle does not fit that.
Yeah, you wouldn't guess necessarily.
Yeah, so I guess nobody would expect me to do D&D, but I decided not to go with that card anyway.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. We can trash it.
It was a red herring.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Because I wanted you guys to know my thought process.
Got it.
And then the next one was, with the knowledge you have now, what would you have done differently?
Ooh.
But I don't think I would do different things, because I feel like you're who you are because of the things that you've done, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, I've made mistakes in my life, of course, and things I probably shouldn't have done or things I should have done differently, but I don't feel like I would have arrived where I am and be who I am without doing those things.
Yeah. So I think that that's part of who you are, though, because not so much like mistake making, right? But like, but the truth of the matter is, the way that you've adjusted to the mistakes or the changes in your life, or even the positive things, right?
Yeah.
How that's molded you is more about how you respond to it and less about it happening.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you're the kind of person that you swim. If somebody throws you in a deep pool, you swim.
Are we putting that to the test at our summer gathering?
No. Please do.
Well, maybe. Is there a dock?
If you throw me in, I'll drown.
There's a dock at
Enjoy
Caitlin's
your
house,
murder
right?
charges.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah,
I think that'd be manslaughter.
Depends.
1, 2, whatever. But the truth of the matter is, like, what I've seen in you is that even when dumpster fires happen, right? Like you arrive with the extinguisher.
Yeah.
Period. Like that's just who you are.
You can't change those things. Like you wouldn't be able to extinguish.
Right.
You will.
Right.
But again, I didn't choose that card.
Oh, what the heck? Seriously.
But this one is quite boring, but I did want to talk about it.
I think you cheated your way to getting 3 answers.
I did. This is the Danielle Show. Thank you so much. We're just going to talk about it because it's fun. What was one of the most beautiful places you visited? Mine was St. John. And I will say Trunk Bay Beach was the most glorious beach I've ever seen in my entire life. Like even the drive to the beach was like St. John is more hilly.
Yeah. They require 4-wheel drives.
Right. So like the whole drive, like both sides of you is just like tropical. I don't even, and then you keep going up, and then you go down and you go up and you arrive at this place and this beach and these little like rock island, the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. It was something.
You get to St. John through St. Thomas, right?
Yes. Like I was staying on St. Thomas, but went for day trips to St. John because it's a 20-minute ferry ride or something.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But they don't allow cars over there. It's only the four-wheel drive Jeeps.
Right. Because it's just these little windy, hilly roads.
Yeah.
And
Nobody fell off a cliff.
No.
Good.
So that's it.
Good. Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
How many did you pick?
I picked a bunch, but
See?
I really don't like any of them.
I put
The scope creep is out of control on this segment.
I'm keeping just the one. I'm a rule follower.
I'm going to go with this one. It's what will be on the pictures you take.
Oh.
Which is very interesting because...
Watermarks. So people don't steal from us.
Censor dust.
I think there'll still be a lot of pictures of Keith because I do a lot of behind the scenes. Keith shows up a lot in my camera roll, not in a creepy way.
And me. You have a lot
and I have a lot of
photos
Danielle.
Yeah, some of them I'm in my house. I don't know how you got those.
And a lot of Winston.
A lot of Winston.
I mean, that's a given.
Yeah.
Winston is Danielle's dog.
Yeah.
If anybody wanting to
Yes.
know.
And of course, my dog. But I think that with my children graduating this year from college and high school, I think that my life's going to change a bit. And I think that, I think it's going to change just a little bit. And my time with, like, physically with them is going to change.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably going to be most of what my pictures are going to be.
The type of time that you spend with them? Like
Yeah.
what you're doing during the time, you
Like
mean?
physically, like they're going to be in different locations.
Sure.
And, you know, we're going to travel a lot to see them. And you know, there's FaceTime, which is great. But my life's going to change. It's going to be different.
Yeah.
But it's an exciting year for everyone.
Of course.
I think that will be a lot of my pictures, traveling to see them and them coming home. And
So you're basically going to be taking photos in many different places that you didn't previously experience.
right, which is exciting for all of us.
Yeah. Mostly the same people within them, just different environments now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Different stages of life.
Yeah, just completely across the country. I've never been to the West Coast, so pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Sylvia's going to Arizona, right?
Yeah. So, I mean...
The desert is one of the best places to find.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to
I've
go.
never been.
There's no trees in the way. I've never
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like so many places around here, you're like, that would be great if it wasn't for all the stupid trees.
Right.
Like,
And
we're
that
out
was-
there.
all
it's
those
just-
trees.
Honestly, like that's what I embrace.
well, it's fun, but like you go hiking looking for a vista, and like there's a little,
fair.
there's a little vista.
Okay,
Whereas out
there's
there,
a little window.
anywhere.
It's
Yeah.
expanse.
Literally anywhere,
right.
as
Yeah.
far as you can see, is just open.
Stargazing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
gonna get some wild stuff.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
excited.
Okay.
I'm excited. And Aruba was very similar in landscape. Like they had a ton of cactus.
Yeah.
Like they look
Big,
like trees.
wide open, big sky.
Big wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the ocean there was
Yeah, oh, yeah.
amazing.
Beautiful.
Amazing. So yeah.
Crayola blue water, like
Yeah.
It's
for sure.
unbelievable. Like it wasn't even reality. It was crazy. And the sunsets and yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to that.
All right.
Taking pictures everywhere I go.
All right. Cool. What do you want to achieve in the next year? That was kind of the boring one. And then just for reference, what are the 3 things that gave you the most energy? I didn't pick that one. Who put that one back?
So,
the 3 cans
None
of
of
Celsius
these-
I drank.
None of these were my.
Wait, were these some? Because I took some more.
Oh, that's why. You know what? No.
I don't think we're using this deck correctly.
not at all.
No, we're not.
Not at all.
We're cherry picking.
I think we might need a new deck.
I'm going to go back. What do you want to achieve in the next year? So I think that obviously it's no hidden information that what I want to achieve in any year is to continue growing. And I truly believe that if you're not growing, you're dying. For me, it's, I guess, an endless pursuit of growth, but not perfection, right? So like we've said in the office, progress, not perfection. Like whatever we can do to get to a better outcome tomorrow. And of course that's a moving goalpost, right? And we're not grading ourselves based on the perfection. We're grading ourselves based on our vision and our I guess our vector, like how, where we're heading and why we're heading there. And so my goal for the next year is to just continue that approach, but under the I guess a sub goal would be to continue that approach with I guess more organization in mind, and less like chaos, like less of the dumpster fires. But not necessarily that there's not going to exist, because they're going to continue to exist. Like,
Yeah, there's no way we're ever gonna
like
be in
we're
the clear.
we're
The amount of redundancy we'd need.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So we were talking to Gabe and LJ yesterday
Yeah.
for the Next Level podcast, and they were talking about. I had asked what their closing ratio was on their sales pushes for their business, and he's like, it was 45 to 50%. It's probably more like 30% now, but we're also doing significant higher volume of business. And so, of course, whenever you introduce more employees, more customers, more variety of jobs, you're going to also introduce more of the dumpster fires.
Roll the dice more times.
Correct, right? But again, it's about how we respond. So I think when I say a more organized fashion, it's not necessarily less of the dumpster fires, but more controllable dumpster fires, right?
Levers to pull when they occur.
Correct.
But I really think, like, more than any other company that I've ever worked for, I think that we do have those systems in place.
We do.
I'm not
much
bashing
more.
our systems.
Right.
At
No,
all, right?
no.
Well-
but I think we respond quickly and efficiently.
I mean,
Correct.
When we
Yeah.
had the call out 2 weeks ago, like we didn't even have to move any appointments.
Yep.
Like we
Right.
responded so fast that I was on time.
Yeah. You were like, I might be late, and then you're like, no, I'm
And
actually
then I
going
pulled
to
up
be.
GPS. I was like, no, actually, we're fine because
Yeah.
we responded so instantaneously.
Like the well-oiled machine that we have here
And we
is
are. That's
just
all they are.
unbelievable.
It's just a
like
matter
the
of
people, and it's the people behind the machines.
It's like codifying
you
those things so that we can, like, if I hadn't happened to be in the office that day,
Yes, then things would
totally
have been
different
different.
story, much
Yeah,
bigger
for
dumpster
sure.
fire.
Sure.
And so
Right.
I think that's what he's talking about. Is like
Yeah.
having some codification of those things,
That's
so that there's
exactly it.
always a
Because if the frequency is such where they can kind of come to be expected to happen,
Yeah.
then at that point you need to have an everyday fail-safe plan in place for when they occur. Not, holy crap, it happened. Oh no, what do we do? There needs to be, all right, it happened. What, we already know what we're going to do.
go to contingency A.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
exactly it.
Yeah.
All right,
So-
we're going to DEFCON 2 now.
and so,
Like-
so when I look at growth, the contingency plan of how that growth gets managed isn't necessarily squashing the fires, but being able to have enough of a fire department to be able to handle.
Yeah, you've got an extinguisher right next to your desk, and then you've got a
Exactly.
hose in the back room if you need
Correct.
it. And then,
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's the organization that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I think that we're doing that very effectively already, but it's going to be an intentional push to continue scaling that up, because something that I found, like, we take for granted our backup gear.
For sure. Well, I don't take it for granted.
You don't, because you see it come and go.
Yeah.
Right. But it's very easy for us to assume.
I think some of our
that we
field
have one on
people,
hand.
It's a given to them that, like, if something breaks, like,
There's something available.
another thing appears in my hand shortly after.
Correct. And generally that's the case.
Yeah.
But it's not because we just always have one at the ready.
No, it's because
we're planning ahead.
Yeah.
So it used to be that we only really had one extra lens, one extra camera, one extra battery, one extra everything.
I think we have,
right?
2 or 3?
Yeah, we
whole
have 2
kits?
or 3, depending on what item in the kit that we're talking about now.
Yeah.
And we've had to raise that buffer, because if you look at your backup gear as a percentage of your total gear, you need to keep that at a set percentage.
Right.
Right? Not if you have 10 cameras, you have 1 camera on backup. Now it becomes 20 cameras, well, you need at least 2 on backup.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're doing a 10%, you got to scale that up all the time, and always rounding up, never rounding down. And so that's just a really small sliver of what that looks like for that pulling the levers in the back end.
We have yanked some victories from the jaws of defeat before.
We have.
From that,
Yeah.
I just get a phone call where it's like, my camera doesn't work anymore. I'm
Yep.
like, what do you see? They're like, black. And I'm like,
Yep.
that's a problem.
Yeah, that's not good.
And you tried
that's a
ejecting the
no-no.
battery and putting it back in.
Yeah,
That
that's the way,
is
yeah.
a dumpster fire. That's
So-
that.
And then, like 35 minutes later, either someone's on site to
Yeah.
take care of it, or new gear is in someone's hand.
Yep.
And then there's very minimal interruption
Yep.
to the client, because that's
Eat
in
that,
the
Amazon.
end.
Yeah.
Eat that, Amazon. Seriously.
Yeah.
Same day delivery just started happening for Amazon on certain items, depending
Yeah.
on whether or not it's at their local warehouse, right? And I totally respect that. We've had their own offline conversation about the capitalistic
Yeah, where's our
society
SATA
that we're in.
cable, Amazon?
Yeah,
Delivered
Amazon.
my
Yep.
butt.
Yep. I got that memory same day, but we can't get a simple cable.
It's probably in the warehouse.
It probably
It's
is.
probably with like some 15-foot tall sluice valve or something.
Yeah.
And there's a little cable right next to it.
Probably. Yeah. Our warehouse over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, the point though is that as we continue to grow, looking at our systems consistently, which we do frequently,
Yeah.
and scaling those systems so that they meet our new or projected growth. So, but yeah, that's my hope for the next year.
Absolutely.
But yeah, cool.
Oh, yeah, this is when we photographed the mill. Oh, that's right. Kristen and I walked 3.5 miles, sprinted with athletes. Oh, that's right, because we did
Yeah, we did. And
we did a promo over at NGE the same day. So we were like training with their football people. August 21st, 2023. Kristen and I walked 3.5 miles, sprinted with athletes, and oh, rats, the T key jammed. Oh, well, I'm too tired and going home.
So on the T-Key, September 7th, 2023, the T-Key is still sticky, but our problems only begin. It is 82 degrees at time of writing.
Oh my God.
That's before they replaced the
Oh,
AC
yeah,
units.
that's right.
Yes. The podcast PC has progressed from failing to find Wi-Fi to complete failure instead.
I remember that.
Georgia was cute, though. So it must
Oh,
be
Georgia.
Oh, we were doing the
Yeah.
dog calendar at the
Okay.
time. Yep.
If I do not correspond for 48 hours, look for me in the gear closet. The plants seem to have begun speaking to me. Perhaps my sanity
This is
has
Bill.
waned.
No, that's-
Francine, the leafy one, has a great banana bread recipe. Oh, hey, the tiki is working again. I love it. This is poetry.
Yeah,
Seriously,
like
this is
these are
fantastic.
awesome. A lot of these are just beyond the listing,
Yep.
but we got to
Yeah,
start.
most
We
of
got to
those
start
are
this
the-
up.
most of
I
those
think
are
you
the-
wrote this one.
I did.
one
title
day.
slides.
Yep. To speak with your soul, listen to your heart is what I had written on that.
Yeah. We should continue with these. These are fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's funny.
So, but yeah, no, it's I guess the takeaway here is that crap happens.
Yeah.
We have fun regardless.
We
We
do.
ride the waves of crap and ride the waves of awesomeness. So I think that we just need to continue down that path
Agreed.
in an organized fashion, so that we're not full of chaos ourselves. Because I don't think that we are at all. I think our team is exceptionally organized.
Yeah.
And we are trying to herd cats, as it were.
Quite literally sometimes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Like, actually,
I have on
listings.
many occasions have to take in my tripod and go, all right, Kitty, come on, let's go. And they're like,
I remember that during training. That was like literally part of my
it
training.
happens like once a month.
Like,
to
take
me.
your tripod and just shoot.
Yeah, like do not
just
trust
shoo
the
a little.
cat to be friendly as you attempt to move it.
No assumptions.
Don't use your hands.
I've received lacerations before.
I think we need to get like those Fowler gloves.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
The tripod works great, to be honest.
Yeah,
You poke a cat with a tripod and they
They're
split
not-
usually pretty
yeah.
fast after that. But
That's fun. That's fun. All right. So I guess this has been one of our most random off topic,
it's
but
a loosey-goosey one. But
beyond the listings.
Yeah.
So thanks guys for sitting
was
with
fun.
me. And,
Yeah, it was a
good time.
Thanks for having us.
beyond the listing.
Ah, yes.
Ooh.
The Beyonder.
It's pretty meta.
Yeah.
Pretty meta. But let's just wrap it up here.
Yeah, sounds good.
The end.
We're off.
The end.